Peace, love, and joy. What's good, YouTube? It's Kareem Samdi back again with another video. Alright, so I just made a video not too long ago about understanding your inner matrix, and I want to go deeper into that in a longer video. Alright, so let's get right into it. So if you want to escape the matrix, right, the first thing that you want to understand is that the only reason why the matrix exists is because you've allowed it to exist in your mind, right? One of the laws of Tahuti states that there is a law of mentalism that says all is the mind and the mind is all. The mind is the universe and the universe is the mind. So however you see this universe, what you tell yourself about this universe, what you tell yourself about yourself, right? Whatever you describe it as yourself, that's what reflects back to you. So let's take into account the world that you might be living in. And let's say a lot is going on in this world. There's a lot of mind control in this world. There's a lot of spiritual attacks in this world, right? We need to be cognizant of the way that we're talking about these things, because if we're talking about these things outside of us so much, then what does that tell us about what's going on within, right? On a collective level. But first you want to understand what's going on within with you. So whatever's going on within with you, you have to be accountable of that, right? So the more that you keep telling yourself I am poor, right? The more that you keep telling yourself that you don't have enough, that you don't have what you want, that you're not living the life that you want to live, there's gonna be something out in that matrix that plays off of that insecurity that you have, and you're going to consume it. You have to be mindful of what you're consuming, because if you're not mindful of what you're consuming, then you will begin to continue to be mind controlled and manipulated based off of your insecurities. So that's essentially how your inner matrix works. Your inner matrix works based off of your insecurities, because whatever you continue to create for yourself by limiting yourself, by casting off these limiting beliefs, by being in places you know that don't support your vision for the best version of yourself, you are creating an inner matrix. The more that you keep telling yourself that I need this job to be secure, you are creating an inner matrix that's going to keep reinforcing that, because you are living in a state of lack, right? And you are keeping yourself enslaved to something that doesn't serve your higher purpose, that doesn't serve the best version of yourself. The more that you keep telling yourself that you're staying with people that don't support you, you are continuing to enslave yourself and create an inner matrix that keeps you dependent on those people. So you have to be very, very honest with yourself if you plan on escaping the matrix, because you have to first escape the matrix that you've created for yourself, right? That the outer matrix has only exploited based off of your insecurities, because if you really had control over yourself and full agency over yourself, nothing that happens in the outside matrix would ever be able to phase you. Nothing that happens in the outside matrix phases me, because I've kept myself under spiritual accountability ever since I became conscious. And you can do it too, but you have to understand, you really have to be honest with yourself about what it is that you know is holding you back from being the best version of yourself. And it's you at the end of the day. You know, you can't, like I said in other videos, the more you continue to blame, the more power you lose. Like I said in the solar plexus video, blame limits the solar plexus. Blame blocks the solar plexus, because essentially, when you shift that power away from yourself, you are deifying everything outside of you. And your subconscious mind is going to reflect that back to you, because that's how powerful your subconscious mind is. It can reflect back a reality that you don't consciously want, but you're subconsciously giving it that symbol to do so. And so, like I said in another video, you want to be aware of the labels that you also give yourself, because whatever labels that you give yourself also transform into a reality for yourself. So if you have this label that you have mental issues, depression, anxiety, addictions, you're going to continuously reinforce those things based off of how much you speak about them. If you continue to say, I have these things, right? I have depression, or that you have anxiety, or that like none of these things are actually real, but you're speaking them into existence by saying these things. And if you're not doing it then, and it's just whatever else that you take to reinforce these symbols as well. Taking those medications is reinforcing the fact that you have an illusionary issue, when in reality, the more that you continue to do those things, you escape from them. If you wake and bake, you are escaping from your reality, because you know that if you stop smoking weed, that you would have to face your reality. So waking and baking is also selling a part of yourself, deifying a part of yourself that's going to work against you, because initially that weed was taking you away from the problems that you had. It was making you feel good. But then when you begin to rely on it, instead of actually facing those things, then that weed becomes something that enslaves your consciousness. And that's when outside forces can continue to exploit these things. See, anything that you could possibly think of that involves finding something outside of yourself, whether it's happiness, prosperity, wealth, abundance, joy, it's all been boxed into these materialistic things, been boxed into these illusionary success stories that tells you that if you do this, you will be X, whatever I just described. You will be happy, you will be successful, you will be wealthy, you will be abundant, you'll feel love, instead of finding those things within yourself first. Because if you don't find those things within yourself first, and you don't accept that they're there, and you don't recognize that they're there, you will always be in the matrix, right? Nothing outside of you can give you love. Nothing outside of you can give you lasting joy. Nothing outside of you can give you peace, inner peace. Nothing outside of you can give you happiness. You can get excitement, but even then you can generate that from within. But everything that you find outside of yourself, it's a farce. It's an illusion. Why do you think that there's that story in the Bible where the devil was trying to tempt Jesus, and he was telling him he can have all the riches of the world. He can be a king over all the other kings as long as he bowed down to him. And the devil represents your lower nature. You've created this matrix for yourself. You've created this hell for yourself, right? But Jesus didn't accept that, because he wanted something greater than what was in this matrix. What he was being told would make him feel like something in this world that doesn't exist, that's separate from the higher element, that's separate from the Godhead. He didn't want that shit. You have to feel that same way about yourself when it comes to everything in this matrix, right? There's things that look appealing here, right? But to get those things to follow you, you have to create that from within. You have a certain, where a lot of people are caught up about money, but if you generate a currency within yourself by doing what you love, you generate a currency within yourself by getting into a state of creation and just following your mission without worrying about money, then you'll begin to attract money, because you want money to follow you. The problem is everybody's chasing money. That's why nobody has it, because they're chasing something that doesn't exist. They're chasing something. They're selling their souls for things that don't exist. And you're selling it because you're busting your ass at a job that is enslaving you, that doesn't give a fuck about you, that will fire you tomorrow. There's no such thing as job security, by the way, because obviously during the pandemic, everybody figured that out. So if you're not creating off of your own soul, you're not creating off of your own accord, doing things that are in alignment with the true you, if you're not doing that, then yeah, you're going to be enslaved to things outside of you. The wealth is within. You create the currency. You place a value on things that you do. No one else dictates that for you. But if you want them to dictate it for you, then yeah, go ahead. Find the wealth outside of you, because they'll dictate how much wealth you have. I promise you that. The world will dictate how valuable you are the more that you focus on a currency outside of yourself. That's the hypocrisy that we have. That's the hypocrisy that we've given ourselves, in this matrix, because we haven't found the abundance and the wealth within. A green piece of paper doesn't determine how wealthy you are. The wealth depends on a light that you raise within yourself, depends on a love that you raise within yourself. That's where the wealth is. The health, this mental, the physical, and the spiritual health being in alignment, that's when health is your wealth comes into play. So if you don't have any of those, then you're definitely out of alignment, and you're not going to feel wealthy. You're not going to feel abundant, like you can have it all, like you do have it all, right? So you don't want to focus on things in this matrix. Things in this matrix are going to keep you stuck, right? The things in this matrix should be focusing on you, while you should just be focused on your mission, focused on creating, focused on transforming. That's you. That's what you're supposed to do. Whatever your purpose is, you get in alignment with that right now, today, and you just do it. You know, you have to be, I know a lot of people are in situations where there's fear blocking them because there's outside factors. They may not have the support system to just up and quit a job. They may not have the support system to just up and leave, you know, a certain situation that's just not serving them. But that's fear, which is the root chakra. That's an imbalanced root chakra. So that's still fear, because you know that if you had just stepped in alignment with your higher self, or God, if you believe in any higher force other than yourself, right? Because it's all the same at the end of the day. It's all connected. But if you have stepped in alignment with that mission that your higher self has given you, you know that you'd be taken care of. But you have to be willing to risk it all. You have to be willing to let it all go and trust in yourself. Generating trust within yourself. How can you trust anything else outside of you if you don't even trust yourself? How can you love anything else outside of you if you don't even love yourself? You know, there is a certain amount of hypocrisy that we have chasing these things outside of us. See, if you generate it all within, you're not going to be worried about this matrix. If you are something meaningful to you, valuable to you, and you see that and you believe that within your heart, that's all that matters. Everything else will align with that. Everything that you do, if you're consistent with your mission, you're following your mission, you're doing it every single day, then the matrix will break down. The matrix won't exist. You won't be consuming the matrix so much. But if you place value on things out here, then yeah, it's gonna run your life in one way or another. I've said in another video, if you don't control your mind, somebody else will control it for you. So if you're not controlling your inner matrix, someone's going to place your ass in the outer matrix too, and control the parts of your life that you're not aware of. And that's real talk. So it all starts within. And the first step to recognizing and getting that under control is to be honest with yourself. And then just realize that you can generate it all within. Right? You don't want love to consume you while you're looking for these partners outside of yourself. Generate that love for self within, and then the right person will be attracted to you, or the right people will be attracted to you, right? And when it comes to sex, chasing sex so much outside of you, if you could just generate pleasure within, pleasure will come to you, rather than wasting your life chasing for something outside of you, chasing for a thrill, right? And that's for those guys who can't keep a no-fap streak, constantly chasing that pleasure, busting gallons of nuts every single day. People who can't remain on semen retention, right, for an extended period of time because they're too busy trying to chase tail, you know, and getting caught up in things that they don't want to be caught up in. See, this is serious stuff. Like if you don't realize that you can generate it all within, your reality outside of you is going to rule you. You have it all. And you have to recognize that you're in control too. Go watch my chakra videos, because getting the chakras under control is how you break out the matrix. Getting your mind under control is how you break out of the matrix, and understanding that everything that you could ever possibly want is within. But if you think it's all outside of you, when you get all of it and you have no inner peace, you're not satisfied with who you are, none of that is going to matter. No spiritual health, none of that is going to matter, because you never made that connection with the divinity within you. So you're going to die miserable, having everything. That's a sad life to live. It is very much a sad life to live, and none of us are here to live that. We're all here as creators. We're all here to be abundant. You know, so we have to get in alignment with that right now. Right now is the time. Stop giving yourself excuses, right? Because you can make excuses all damn day, but that still doesn't mean that you can't take steps. Do something to get in alignment with this. All you have to do is meditate and just feel it all within. That's the first step, getting the meditation under control. And then the next step is whatever you make for yourself, because obviously what you do in meditation, you have to bring that with you throughout the rest of the day. Carry that with you. See, I can say all these words, but until you really feel it within yourself, you really feel that you have these things within, and you give yourself the opportunity to give yourself these things. Nurture yourself, care for yourself, be kinder to yourself, you know, and find a way to accept yourself. The more that you generate these things within, the more everything will align. I promise you that. I speak from experience, because when I didn't have self-acceptance, it seemed like everything was out of my reach. When I couldn't self-validate, it seemed like everything wasn't validating me. I had to seek it all outside of myself until I realized I really had it all within. You have it within too. You just gotta see it. That's your nature as a creator. So that's what I gotta say about this. That's how you understand the inner matrix. And I'm definitely gonna make more videos about breaking out of the matrix in general. I wish you all luck in your journey, and peace.